a great idea, autonomous idea to get into the fight game right now. There is no better time. We are about to get directly into this. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself before all of those who have never watched this show. Shame on you. Boy, you're late to the dance. My name is Eric A. Bradley, coach, that is. And we teach the business of boxing. And we have some astounding conversations to share with you about the landscape of where boxing is going in 2025. I mean, like right now. And there are times in my life that I knew that I wanted to have more patience, but patience is a virtue. So someone who's watching this feed right now, who's never seen my face before, I know you're going to think in a second. I feel exactly that way because I know I have something unique and I know I have something special. And I know that I've been given the game something, but no one truly sees me yet. In the moment that I started feeling that way when I was going into this journey, shortly after my mom passed away, my mind shifted in a way that I at that point in time, I got committed to doing it. I became intentional with boxing. And that's what I'm about to share with you tonight. This is about numbers don't lie. And so for those of you who've never seen me, there's a saying that I decided to tweak, and it was called men lie, women lie more, and numbers don't. And the reason why I say women lie more is because they have to lie more to protect our feelings about life. Because if women walked around totally honest, there will be not a lot of self-esteem in men. So I just wanted to preface that conversation and that statement because it has meaning behind it. It's just not a chauvinistic kind of meaning that women simply lie more. But the key is to this conversation is breaking down the importance of knowing that your journey in a fight game has its time. The same way Steve Jobs, when he went out on his venture to start Apple, see, it had a period of time before it just morphed into what it was going to morph into. Now, you guys got the opportunity to see the landscape of it at the end of the pinnacle, but you didn't see the moments where he was on drugs in college and struggling and walking around barefoot and not getting any love and everyone saying no, thinking of him as an absolute loser. This is kind of where a lot of us right now reside, in that space where no one understands your journey and they don't quite understand that you are chosen. The thing about it is it all has a date. And now the landscape of the fight game has brought us to this pinnacle. That's where we are right now, because I'm going to break down to you why the lowest income of a fight gym owner will be at the $1.7 million range. And that's far from what a typical gym owner was getting before. Why? Because it wasn't time. It wasn't time for it to happen. It wasn't time for it to happen. Now, with the age of social media, the influx of influencers, the eyes being put on our sport in such a way that there is no way that it could not do it. It has to do it now because it's gone. So here's the thing. Here's the landscape of it. See, I was so impatient at the beginning because I wanted it all. But then when I got mentorship, I realized how much it was in the sport. Boxing has so many categories, so many layers, and so many lanes. The one other thing that it has is there's process and procedures that don't get put into place that people overlook every single day. Get what I'm saying? So when you start learning that, you're okay with not getting it all today because you have to learn how to operate it. Hell, if you go to an event and you have to go through the procedures of knowing how to do your checkup, your weigh in, and knowing the protocol, if you're in a tournament, what do I do tomorrow? Like there's process and procedures that you have to learn about boxing. But the beautiful thing about it is it's all come to a head. It's here now. Now, when I speak about how is it that people in the sport that who are outside of the sport, see, this is who we need. We need the people who are outside of the game to say, hey, I want a part of that because it's here. It's the diamond. It's the new drug. It's the new opioid. And when I talk about this game, I don't talk about the game of just personal training. Because see, I said it yesterday. The analogy between a personal trainer and a boxing trainer is a personal trainer is all analytical. They're all procedure. They do the weigh-in. They do the meal plan. They do all of the things. They know the program that you signed up for. Everything is buttoned up. They have procedure in place, right? So we think of them as the physician of this game. Okay, the physician. Now we look at the boxing trainer and they know how to navigate. They know how to get you from point A to point B. They know how to do these things, but they don't have process and procedure in place when it comes down to the business of boxing. They just understand, I know how to develop your jab. I know how to make you bite down on your mouthpiece and go mano a mano. So those are all of the technical things. And a lot of us are guilty of leaning too much towards that and not understanding process and procedure. But right now, we're going to make sure that you guys understand on a Saturday night, the final weekend of the summer, that we're going to get into why is it the most important thing to understand where the fight game has gotten to. It's not going, it's gotten to this point because of all of these things that I'm about to share with you right now. Number one, here are the things that's going to make it obvious, because there are gyms right now that are doing this, very few, because they understand process and procedure, because they brought the right kind of people in. And so this is what we want you guys to know so you can implement. And if you've been on the fence about jumping into the gym game, the fight game, you guys right now are in position to own a big major part of Apple, a large part of Amazon. That's where you are if you now are in the fight game, because one of the things that I spoke of is one of my mentors. He always made it clear, son, you have all the skill and technique and talent in the world, but you couldn't piss through a hose if you had the pee-pee the size of an ant, because you don't understand what you're looking at. And he said, you are in a business where supply and demand, but the objective is to understand you find the demand and supply it. There's nowhere near enough boxing gyms, but there's a consistent pinnacle and precipice of this influx of social media stars like Tank, Canelo, formerly known as the pound for pound Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. All of these people played such a significant role of it getting to this point. And then the pandemic came and the New World Order came into play. And you know what the New World Order is? And this is going to make it very clear to you. The New World Order is attention. Attention. That's why people try so hard to get views. That's why people, even you're sitting there watching your numbers every single day. And I am too, because I'm running an operation. And the reason why I want to do numbers is because the numbers tell you everything. You remember the moment that I said at the beginning, men lie, women lie more, numbers don't, because see, numbers tell the story. But there's this thing called algorithm that interrupts that. And the algorithm says, we're going to switch things up. We want you to do it this way because it plays in our favor. It plays to the people who come onto this platform to advertise. So you're about to get game. And like one of my followers says, you're giving free game, bruh. I feel like I owe you something just for giving you game. Well, I'm going to give you game while everybody that's in the fight business, not the gym business, is going to be a millionaire by default. As long as you follow this, number one reason why the packages are going to be advantageous, and just by default, you're going to be a millionaire. It's just the way it is. It's this is how it looks. So number one, if you're a fight gym owner, fight gym, not boxing, not fitness, not I do pads. I mean the operation, an actual fight gym operation. The same way that if you bought into an Apple franchise, that you would have an operation manual, how you operate it, so that you make sure you get your numbers. Well, that's this. And so this is what I'm going to tell you, that this is what you got to pay attention to, Mr. Gym owner, fight gym owner. There's packages that when there was it was maybe it wasn't the Mayweather fight, but it was one of that significance, on the lower level, but it had specific packages just for the influencers. So let's take it back 4 years, 5 years, where Jake Paul, KSI, Logan Paul were influencers. You see, that was new then. But see, now it's actually the norm. There's a ton of guys that are influencers and they want the smoke. And so it's going to be up to the boxing gym to give them the opportunity to learn how to get to that opportunity. And that's what's going to be following this, how to get them to the opportunity. And so when you're selling the opportunity, then you're selling something that actually can manifest into what their dream was. Look at Logan Paul. Logan Paul was a WWE champion. He just had his first amateur fight in like 2020, 2019 against KSI. Now he's a WWE superstar. Jake Paul is putting on pay-per-view events, selling out arenas, and now he's teaching others how to sell out arenas. So this is something that already has the frame in place. The thing about it is, how do you turn this into a frame for you as a fight gym owner, someone who's operating a pro-am gym, because you have to develop the amateurs to become pros. And that's another thing that you have to have right here. So number one, the influencer package. KSI walks into your gym. He wants you to train them. You don't train a person like that like you would train. You don't train someone who has 3 million, 4 million, 5 million followers the same way you would train someone, because see, they are actually going out here to get involved in the smoke. They are going to be accepted by DAZN. They will be accepted to be on an undercard and very soon a main event of a major card, Top Rank, PBC, DAZN. All of these people are going to accept them. When you go and you get into Game Bread Promotions, Jorge Masvidal, former UFC star, your main event straight out of the gate. You're not playing around. It doesn't matter what major city you're in, whether you're in New York, California, Texas, Florida, doesn't matter. Those guys already exist right now. You know why? Because 27 million people have hit our social media, right? Just the metaverse in 1 month. Do you know how many people don't even have gyms, but have over 100,000 people that are following them, 200,000 people that are following them, 300,000 people that are following them, but they can't find somewhere to get groomed for the smoke. So this is a problem. What we called before is supply and demand. No, remember, it's demand and supply. The personal training business is a lot different. That's a medicine. That's a shot in the arm. People don't want to go get fit. They want fitness, but they don't want to go and take that shot. Nobody wants to get up, pay money to go somewhere where a guy's going to make them feel like shit. Right? They don't. That's just, even when I trained, I made the experience so great that people came for the real relationship, not just to work out. Nobody wants to stand there and do squats for 60 seconds. No one wants to do fucking burpees. It's just not in the cards. But if you're going to throw a jab and double right hand hook, learn how to hit those pads, get those reflexes good, you like that. And guess what? You do this good enough, we might have to put you on a boxing card. That's yummy. That's yummy. That's cool. That's legendary. You can tell your grandkids, I fought. You can't tell your grandkids and brag that I go to the gym and I do, squats. That's not a cool thing. So let's just see the landscape of boxing separating from anything. And so that's one of the things you got to keep. The number two thing that we got to understand is coming is the pro fight packages. So what you have to know is that there is a method that you have to give those opportunities, because now you're going to give them an opportunity to be on a pro fight card. You're going to groom them as pro fighters. So you think people are going to line up for that? You know why? I know they are, because they're hitting me in my DMs as we speak. This isn't the phone that I use, but this phone has the messages that come through my phone as someone who sees numbers. Okay. I touch 1.7 million Instagram accounts just this week. You know what I'm saying? That's my stories. Understanding just today, just in stories. 2,149. I can put this number right here so you guys can all see it. I don't know if you can see it really good. I don't know if you can see it real good. You can screenshot that and look at it close. 2,149. This post has been up for like 5 hours. That's a story. That's how many people taking on the poll. By the time you wake up in the morning, that thing will be at maybe 16, 17,000. So if you haven't taken a poll, go over to our poll on Instagram at Masterboxing. Take the poll. It's a really good poll. It puts your mind in the right place. And now this is the end of summer. Now you're going into the fall. Go take that poll. And you can also subscribe over on the Winner Circle group, which is a broadcast channel in Instagram. You can do that. And I'll make sure that I put that in the stories as well. But it's on our description. But put that to the side. You can do that later. But what I do want you to understand is when you're on a pro fight card, owners, gym owners, guys you own in the BJJ and the kickboxing gyms and the Muay Thai and you got the MMA, but you don't have the smoke. All right. You don't have the smoke yet because you don't have this shit put together right. You got to have it put together in a way that people aren't confused what you do. And they know exactly that you know how to get them to where they need to go. This is no bullshit. So don't play around. This is boxing. I dedicated my life to this. And I knew that it was something that you need to learn it all. And that's why it took 4 decades to actually really get this thing. The same way it took Steve Jobs decades to get Apple to Apple. My side phones are Apples. My computer is Apples. My side computer is Apple. My pads are iPads. My earpods are iPods. It's the mothership. It's the constant across all devices. And that's when you button things up. And so that's what's happened to the fight game. We buttoned it up. So I knew that I couldn't just go out here and do me. What I thought about is what Canelo said. I had to take the clauses with Mayweather. I had to do it against Cotto. I was the B side. But look at the energy that's in the fight game right now when you see those kind of fighters. When Canelo fights this weekend coming up against Berlanga, it's going to be a $1 million, 1 million sales. What do you think the buzz is going to be like starting Monday to Sunday and then next Monday? What do you think the buzz is going to be about? It's going to be a bunch of kids, teenagers in the 20s or in the 30s who have humongous followings. They're going to want the smoke. So that's why you got to get prepared, because everybody wants boxing, not just guys who from the boxing world, guys who from the kickboxing, guys who from MMA. Everybody wants the smoke. Sugar Shane O'Malley, Usman got Canelo on the show and basically offered himself an opportunity. Opportunistic. Boxing is hot. Boxing is money. You have to give those opportunities to these people. That's a part of your downline. And now the next thing I'm going to get into is, after you get the pro fight packages, because you're going to actually know exactly what to do, because they're going to need to know how this package thing works. You know why I know this? Because the gym owners, when I grew up, they basically got screwed by the fighters, because the fighters were like, hey, I'm coming to your gym, so I bring some value. Even though these fucking guys didn't even have a big name yet, they would pull that card and the gym owners wouldn't even really charge them. But now it's like, no, you're a pro fighter. Here's the card. Here's the fee. This is your package. Your package is pro fight package. And so these conversations we've been having for years, because these are the things that I saw that was wrong in the sport. I was like, dude, how are you getting over? And people who actually come here to work out have to pay. And so a lot of you thinking when a fighter comes into a gym that he pays the gym thousands of dollars. They don't pay him shit. And you know I'm talking to you, asshole. All these gym owners don't even know how they're going to do what they need to get done, because the people who are coming who really could do it won't pay them. And we're going to turn that around, because if you walk into a pro-am boxing gym, you're going to fucking pay the pro package, because with that pro package, you're going to get in the right vein. We're going to have everybody from all of the sanctioning bodies respect that your journey is being managed in a way that you are going to have opportunity to sit at the table and have sponsorship. And the people who run that gym will know how to sit down for you, because they'll have people who specialize in talking for you. Sponsors is a person that speaks in rooms that you're no longer allowed or that you have no access to. And so that's what you will have, because that is what the pro package entails. Okay. So that's that. Next, in-house management. That's literally having an Emmanuel Stewart say, I know this game. See, I've been a part of it for 4 decades, but I've watched it my entire life. So the first promoter that I had dealings with by way of via Donnell was Don King. That was my first introductor. I was like, and he had our fighter handcuffed with a 2-year contract, and he couldn't fight unless it was under him. So he didn't want to fight for him no more. So he had to sit on ice, and then took it to court, disputed. Don King got a shit ton of money. So you can't go to court and battle with Don King. It's all about how deep is your pocket. So you can go broke, and by the time the court case is settled, the 2 years was up. So you have to realize that this game about boxing, it's a lot more to it than you understand. And the honest truth is, you know, as well as I do, that you literally don't know shit about boxing, because just in this book alone, it's boxing, right? I guarantee you don't know 2% of what's in that book. So that's just one book. I've written 30, because I documented everything that's going to be a problem and everything that I could do for that problem to create a solution. Okay, so now fighters, Canelo, Javante, all of those guys have set the tone. Every time they fight, that people are going to want to flood to your gym. So now you understand how to take those guys and operate their careers. You got management teams. So we got good people that surround our entity. All right. So they have management companies, they have sponsorships, they have companies that are endorsing you, and they have investors. These are investors that want to say, can I take a part in this? Because I know some people that might want to come in and take some shares. So fighters don't think about that, so they shouldn't. But what people who are responsible for fighters should take care of is that. And with a gym membership, fuck losing 2 pounds. I want to know that you can take me to the highest level of boxing. Do you want to get to the highest level of boxing? Because to be honest, it's kind of fucking cool. Okay. So how do you get there? Understanding these kind of things that you avoid because you're so focused on him bending his knees and sitting down in his stance and turning his punch over that you don't understand that there's a whole entire different entity going on around it. But this is what you're here to learn. Now, once you get these guys, there are 4 things left that you need to understand, and you do not want to miss these because they are concerning the difference between the guys who are going to be struggling with a own GM ownership and the guys who will be thriving on their worst year. Because 1.7 is the number that shakes out when you get these people in this thing. Because when you start to become a part of all of these events happening, and it's just swirling, you got guys transitioning from amateur to pro. But the biggest thing is that you understand how to move every part of this thing to maximize your return on your time and everything that you've invested into this facility. This is a pro am boxing program, the pro am gym, and the growth and it's like nothing like you've ever understood. I've been doing these numbers for probably 17, 18 years. I've realized that this day was going to come because I knew the game would catch up eventually. So think about this. The growth is like the phone. It's not going to plateau. Right now, there's a reason the reason why the richest people in the world, these guys from Saudi have come and being took part because they know business. They know that this thing is just beginning. It's not even there's no end in sight. This is the telephone. Boxing has gotten on the highway of what is going to make it what it is. Why do you think there are all these boxing podcasts and these shows and all of these conversations that's bringing boxing in? MMA shows, boxing podcasts, all of these different betting companies are, hey, come here, it's because they see it. They don't know how big it's going to get. They know it won't stop growing because fights are not going to stop growing. People are going to always aspire to be like the boxers. When I grew up, it was Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, you know, Camacho. It was all of these guys that we aspired to be like. But now there are layers of these guys. Those are just the front lane guys. Those are just the front lane guys. Excuse my French. But now you got the guys who popped out of social media who have basically trumped all of these people. The KSIs, the Logan Pauls. Ryan Garcia is a dire straight. He's what you call an incubator baby. He's on both sides fully. He's built his media on both sides. He's marketing his life. He documents his whole entire thing. He's going to walk into your gym multiple times. You get it? So this is what's so unique. Now, when you think about after that, this is why, I mean, can you not see that this is going to be a multi-million-dollar thing? I don't need to tell you. You have common sense. It's going to be that without me telling you this. But what we have done over the past decade and a half is concentrated on the numbers. And the numbers right now are spilling over. So there are people who are following me, movie stars, hip hop artists, people who are celebrity just in social media, top influencers, Hall of Famers, award winning, Oscar award winning actors, and Oscar winners. This isn't by mistake. It's because people love boxing. So are you producing that kind of boxing, or are you kind of at a mediocre layer? You're in that mediocre lane. You're doing good enough to feel okay, but you're not crushing it like when you see these events. So you can either be kind of doing okay or you can crush it. See, when you see some of my content, you can see where I really leaned into it. See, the thing about this era, you got to decide, I'm really going to lean into this. And I'm going to give you guys something that you can take a look at after this so that you can use the blueprint of what is it that I need to pay attention to. And it's what I've written down here. So the growth is literally like the iPhone. It's never going away. Social media isn't going away, and boxing is only going to get cooler. There are people like you. You're not even from boxing, but every time I turn around, you're taking some kind of boxer selfie or video clip when you go into a gym just so you can look cooler, right? So that just shows you the value. If you put on a diamond or if you get in a very, very expensive car, it just boosts your engagement up. That's what boxing is now, but it's really here. You can't push back against it. It's overcome everything. A couple of other things that you're going to need to know about it is the demand is there. There's nowhere near enough boxing gyms, pro am fighting programs. We need fighting gyms. We don't need just fitness. Fitness gyms are slowly dying. People are literally just deciding to just go do that online. Now, they will always be here, but it won't be first. Like the TV will always be here, but you're going to look at your phone more than you look at the TV. And that's exactly what it's going to happen when the fitness gym, the fitness gym's biggest competition is going to be the phone. You can't punch somebody in the face on your phone. You can't hit a bag on the phone. So boxing is you need to be there. If you're going to build a brand in the sport of boxing, that's where it is. So you start with the Pro Am boxing program to learn what you need to do. What I'm going to do is tell you the last 30 seconds of this is that there was a time and period that I had told, my mentor, he said to me, you came through my program because see, I never got the opportunity to fight because it wasn't available. I said to you a couple of times on the post, in my neighborhood, the only thing that was available was kickball, football, wrestling. I did them all. We lost in the Super Bowl 12-0. The wrestling that I took part in was at the boys club. And half of the time I got double teamed. When I talk about things that are available to you, I wanted to fight. I know I had over 50 street fights because we fought for fun. I just needed to channel. And I came up in a really, really good hood. You know, it was a good hood because it was the toughest hood. It was the only hood that was known just for one street. Petey Pablo had it in the street in a song that went viral for years. It's still the Carolina Panthers theme song. North Carolina, when he shot it on Lane Street. All right. That's where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? So that's opportunity. If guys would have had a boxing gym there, then it would have been a whole lot less bloodshed. And so not only are you going to bring wealth to your family and your legacy, you're going to give opportunities to guys like me who want the smoke and didn't get an opportunity to. So you had to play all of these other sports to try to channel that energy. But right now, there's nowhere near enough fight gyms because I'm about fighting. There are a couple of people that come up to me when I was in my positions at the gym and they were like, yo, I can't believe you do this shit for real. You great. You came up fighting and now you teach fighting. Now I teach people how to teach fighting. Now it's about knowing the value of leaning and living that life for 5.5 decades. That's the life I lived. And so now don't let that be the thing that is not implemented into those communities in your neighborhood, because ours going to have literacy programs, financial literacy programs tied to it, knowing how to manifest your life with education. But you can go out there and you can still fight, because fighting is a part of your DNA. So you want to be able to teach that stuff, and it's going to pay you, because with this, that is going to be the reason you're going to understand how to run a fight gym, because the fight gym is the new assets, the new diamonds for people who don't understand the word asset. It's something that appreciates over time. It's something that you don't get rid of, like real estate. You don't sell it. It's an asset. Boxing is an asset now. So make sure you put both feet in and start running. Type champion to learn how you can get a copy of this for yourself, so you understand exactly how to get very close. A couple of barbers, a couple of actors, and a couple of musicians just today connected to hop on a phone call to discuss getting themselves into learning how to run it, because all of you guys don't know how to do it, but you need to learn how to do it. This is how you learn how to do it. I'm the fucking coach. So I'm not going to let you slide, because I took the long route. So if I'm going to cut your learning time into portions, then you're going to learn it the right way. And that's on everything. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. I hope you just won't thinking that I'm going to talk about Canelo throwing liver shots. We talking about the fight gyms that these kind of guys are going to grow up in. So if you want that, type champion, or the only thing you can do is basically go up to our stories, and I'm going to put a link up in there that you guys can get there. If you're on YouTube, just make sure you leave a comment on a video and say, I watched the live stream. I want to know more about the Pro-Am boxing gym. This is a fight gym program. And these are the actual these are the things that align the growth and prosperity of the sport of boxing. So former fighters, gym owners, this is where things are. This is the new high stock. This is the new Amazon turning in 1997. This is the time to get your feet in that position. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the fact that this is the end of summer and you're going to go into this next season, the fall season, with a different mindset. Fight gym shit. Focused. Starting that program and elevating what you got going and learning what you need to know, and stop ducking it and take that thing to the next level. Type champion. I'll see you guys soon in the Winner Circle group on Facebook and Instagram. Peace out, guys. I'll see you soon. Let's go.
Calling all fight fans. Ever dreamed of shaping the future of boxing? Starting your own Pro-Am boxing program is easier than ever. Your ticket to the big leagues. Imagine hosting epic events, building a community, and creating a boxing mecca in your hometown. Discover and mold the next generation of champions. This is about leaving a legacy and changing lives. Whether you're a former fighter, a fan, or an entrepreneur, this is your chance to step into the ring of opportunity. Don't let this moment slip away. Make your mark on the boxing world and turn your town into a powerhouse of pugilistic talent. Bells ringing. Are you ready?